Hey kaizan, this is Leo. I'm 1Q on KGS, and here it says that you're 17Q, but you mentioned that it could be even slightly higher rank or lower to be more exact, something like 20Q on KGS. So one step beyond beginner, I think is how you call it. Um, and hence I will keep this review pretty short because I guess due to the fact that the game is already 2 weeks old, you might be even stronger today than you were when you played that game. Anyway, I will answer your question. So you wanted to know whether you could have saved your group on the left side. I think the answer is yes. And I will comment on it in a second. But let's briefly go through the whole game. Yes, you play as black, and this looks very normal. I like this. Actually, this looks like a very natural next move for me because you play this corner enclosure here, which where you really want to have the extension towards that direction because this is on the fourth line, and you make this nice kind of a box here. And I think this is just a very nice continuation and would be just normal. You played here, which is not as good as the one that I just mentioned because this is only third line, right? So this makes maybe, if you get that, something like 8 to 10 points. If you play the other one, then this is more like, sorry, 4 times, come on, 4 times 5, so 24 points. So this is way bigger than the one that you played. Let's continue. So this is why this wide move is quite nice, because not only does your opponent prevent you from playing a double wing formation, like with extensions to both sides, but also prevents you from making the beta extension towards the right side. This is unusual. And you will actually see in the game that it is not the most efficient way to play. Yes, because like this, your opponent just captures this stone now, is very, very solid here on the side. And even though you play this extension, which is nice, this group is not under pressure at the moment. And he takes the big extension, right? So he has this corner enclosure, and he takes this extension and builds this very nice box here. Fourth line box. So this is a pretty nice formation for white. All right, I said that I want to keep this short, so I will not comment on every move. I don't really like this one, but let's just continue. This is a nice extension for this corner enclosure, right? All right, and here you invade the corner, and the normal continuation should be something like, because your opponent does not only have the fourth line stone, the 4/4 stone, but he also have the knight's move. So in this special situation, the normal continuation would be something like this. Your opponent blocks here, then you try to go this way, your opponent blocks again, and then you have to set up a ko, right? Opponent plays Atari, you play here, and we have a ko fight for you to live in the corner. Actually, if you just connect, then this move almost kills the corner, or it more or less kills the corner. Because if you play here, your opponent even has the time to just connect, and now you only have these 5 points in the corner, 5 spaces, and this is not enough to live. So black can play here, but then white can just go here, and if black blocks white, then white can prevent black from making a second eye, or if black directly takes this eye, then white can connect here and take this eye away. And if black goes here, then this move kills black. Okay, so black has to play this ko. But your opponent was very gentle and just played here. And I think like this, black is just alive. Here again, I'm not 100% sure whether that lives. But yeah, this formation looks pretty much alive. So as you can see, you now have 8 spaces, which is normally enough to live in the corner. And now black is alive in this corner, and white connects here, which I do like, because otherwise if white plays somewhere else, then this cut really hurts, because now white has to make sure that these 2 stones do not get captured, otherwise black's top side will be pretty big. Alright, white connects, you play for the middle. I don't really like that, but let's ignore. And then you invade the next corner. And again, the normal way would be just to invade to the 3/3 stone. Here the situation is slightly different. So here your opponent has the 4/4 stone plus the large knight's move extension, which means that it is easier for black to live. And actually, if white just blocks this way, then this would be the normal way. To continue, here black has a nice Atari. You should immediately take that, because it forces your opponent to make this bad shape, this empty triangle shape. And this black stone is not dead yet. But then you threaten to run to the left side, and white again has to block. And if you now connect, then it would be really dangerous for your opponent to try to capture that group in the corner. So if he plays here, you can force him to take that stone, but now this move is really annoying for your opponent. So this is Atari, he has to play here. You can continue here, which threatens to play here next and take the 1 stone. And if white extends to save this stone, then this is Atari, this is still Atari, and you can still take these 2 stones. Right, so this doesn't work for white. White should not try to capture the group like this, but has to play here, defend this cut, and then black can connect. And this, again, is 8 spaces in the corner, which is enough to live. So this black group is alive. And still, as said, this cutting stone is not dead yet, right? So this would be the normal way. You decided to play another invasion, you decided to attach, and your opponent played here. And actually I think I would have just played honey, but you extended and extended again. And at this point, to me, it looks like next black should just jump here, threatening to connect underneath, and if white blocks, then maybe play something like that. And again, we see there's enough space for black to live, even with quite some points. Going to the first line typically is not a good move. So it's rarely a good move playing on the first line. You more or less only play there if you have to make an eye, to live, either live or kill your opponent's group. Normally we don't play on the first line. And your opponent is again very gentle and just plays here, blocks here. If he does something like this, this would be pretty hard for black to deal with. Maybe even this is enough to kill black's group. Not 100% sure. This is 7 spaces, and 7 spaces normally dies if your opponent has the first move. So yes, as said, your opponent was gentle, and you take this move. And still, there are easy ways to live by just playing here, for example. Unfortunately, you played this stone, which is a mistake. And even played one more mistake. So your opponent blocked here, and you even did not play here now, which again just lives, but connected like this. And your opponent found this nice move. And then you played this throw in, which looks like it might be Tizuchi. Actually, I think it is not really. So here your opponent just takes, and now we have this co-situation, right? And black should really play a code threat because it's very big, this corner. And this is not really a code threat. So if your opponent now just connects, then there's nothing big black can do with this stone. So you can, I don't know, jump here or maybe honey, but this is not big at all. So a code threat would be, for example, this move. Because now if white connects, you can play Atari here and take and connect your stones and save your stones and actually capture these stones here. So this would be a code threat. And actually there are not that many other code threats for black. So it would be a pretty hard situation for black. But fortunately your opponent anyway answered here. So he thought this is a code threat, I guess, and you took. And there was a question here. Oh yeah, the question was whether it would have been Seki if white connected with. This is not Seki, and the reason is that yes, it is true that black cannot play here, because now white can capture, but if black plays somewhere else, white can play here. Because yes, black can capture, but white can play again on the vital point and kill this whole black group. So this is not Seki, this is in fact captured. Alright, but white plays here, and this again is not at all a code threat. Maybe white could have made a code threat, something as simple as this one, but he did not. He played here, and I guess you ignored. Yes, you did, and saved your group down here. Well done. Game continues. Okay, many things happened. I think I only want to comment on the invasion and answer your question. So now you realized, or I don't know where exactly, at some point, probably here, you realize that this is a really huge area. There's something like 10 times, I don't know, 70, 80 points. Probably too much if white finds ways to reduce here or here, make some points here. So you decided that you have to break this and play it here, which is more like a reduction move, but then it turns more into an invasion at this point. And the question is whether you would have been able to save your group. And I think there is a way. So this I do like. Now there's another forcing move. I think I would just take it right away because this is Atari. And this is very nice and you can play here next. But this is not a game. And actually in the game you played something very similar. Also here I would probably have, have attached first. And then white, I don't know, maybe would have played Hane. But again, this is very very close, very similar to what we saw in the game. So black played here. White just made sure that black does not have the space to make more eyes there, which is nice. Black does get one eye in goatee, unfortunately. So here you take it. Normally you wouldn't do that at this point. So you would rather continue and try to create enough space for a second eye or maybe a third eye, to later decide whether it is worth playing this move in goatee or not. But here you just took it, and white again played a move just to make sure that these stones are connected to this very strong formation, and yet you do not have the space to make another eye, which is in general a very nice way to play. And you found this move, which is nice. And now you played the Atari forcing move, continued here, and this actually is nice. So white thought, okay, I don't want you to make another eye here, but played this move. And this is very nice, right? Because it prevents white from cutting, because obviously you could capture like this. This is Atari. Even though at this point white could have just cut here, and even if you take, this doesn't save black, because now you have two dead groups here, which doesn't help you. But your opponent did not find that, but just extended because he saw that Atari. Now you continued here, and this is the situation. And here, unfortunately, you play this move, and I think at this point black can live if you just play here, because this one actually threatens to capture white's 4 stones. Sorry. By playing another move at A, right? So here white has to respond, and the white responds in an easy way like this. Then you can play the other honey, and this should guarantee a second eye for black. So if white, I don't know, plays here, this would be normal, something like this. Which we don't have 2 eyes yet. Black has to play here, right? Yeah. Or if white tries to steal the eye like this, then black can again just go down. And this move also doesn't work for white. At least, no, doesn't work. So I think with this sequence, playing here, threatening to capture these 4 stones, and then playing here, you get 1 more eye here to live. And even if white doesn't play like this, if white goes in directly, this also doesn't work for white. So there are many variations, but I don't think that any of them really works for white. So if this doesn't work, connecting doesn't work. Right? So this looks pretty alive for me. And after this, yes, unfortunately you were not able to get a second eye, even though you tried hard. And then after losing some more stones here with this nice throw in by white, very nice, you gave up. All right, I hope this helps. Thanks for uploading your game. Good luck for your next games. Bye bye.